Hello and welcome to yet another snippet from Pale Blue Thoughts. Today we can try and find out if using a mobile in a petrol station is really dangerous as people think it is. We have often heard people say that you should not use a mobile phone at a petrol station or a petrol pump. You might have also seen signboards banning the use of mobiles at these places. If by chance you get a call while you're sitting in your car or bike waiting to fill up petrol or diesel and you take that call, the people at the petrol station may start to shout at you. So what is the truth behind this? Is it dangerous to use a mobile at a petrol station? If anyone is in a hurry and wants to know the answer in one sentence, it is no. Mobiles are not dangerous at a petrol station. If anyone wants to know the reason, please stay on. Let's analyze things one by one. The dangerous aspects in a petrol station is for the petrol, diesel or gas to catch fire, correct? For that, first we will see what causes a fire. For a fire to happen, you need three things: a source of fuel, a source of heat or ignition, and oxygen. This is called a fire triangle. Note that there has to be sufficient amount of heat, sufficient amount of fuel and oxygen, and a chemical reaction should also take place for a fire to happen. So what is the fuel at a petrol station? Of course, it is the petrol or diesel that is present in the storage compartments beneath the pumps. Now we need to understand another crucial thing here. Many items are combustible or non-combustible under various circumstances. A wet paper or cloth will not catch fire easily. Now in the case with petrol and diesel, they can catch fire easily when they are in a vapor state. In liquid form, they don't catch fire easily and hence it is less hazardous. You could, in theory, mind you, only in theory, stub out a cigarette in a bowl of petrol. However, in practical scenarios, this is highly dangerous stunt to attempt. So don't even try. Let us see why. It is because these fuels are highly volatile, meaning they vaporize very fast when they come into contact with the atmosphere. So when we have petrol which is in contact with the atmosphere, the vapors are formed and this forms a layer above the petrol as it continues to vaporize. Now if you bring the same cigarette next to it, the vapors will catch fire and there could be a major flare-up. Another thing to consider is the amount of fuel that is present, which will determine the level of combustion. If the amount of vapors go up beyond a certain limit, which is determined by its density, or if it goes below a certain limit, it is still safe. If it goes above and beyond a definite rate, there won't be enough oxygen to cause it to burn, and if the amount of vapors go below, there won't be sufficient fuel to burn. So, for a fire to happen in a petrol station, you need more than sufficient quantity of fuel. You need the vapors to be present in the correct quantities for a fire to happen. Normally in the case of petrol stations, you would not have sufficient amount of petrol vapors for a combustion to happen. That is, I am talking about the external air, not within the storage tanks. For a fire to happen at a petrol station, you need to have a source of heat or ignition. Mobile phones in reality are a very poor source of heat or ignition. They generally operate with very less power, less than 2 watts, which is less than half the power of a 5-watt LED bulb that we use at home. So the mobiles don't generate enough charge or energy in order to set fire to the petrol or diesel vapors. That is the truth. Now, you may have heard about some mobile phones catching fire or bursting when they are being charged. That generally happens due to some fault in the battery, some fault in the internal circuits or charging circuits. Now, generally we don't charge the mobile phones at petrol stations. We're just talking or messaging using them. Now, Another irony is that people often forget is when we go to a petrol station, we normally would be on our car or a bike. Now all these vehicles have batteries in them. Even the batteries in a bike has more capacity than what our mobile batteries have. A car would have sufficiently more. Yet we don't worry about the energy in these batteries and the fact that they can cause a bigger spark than what a mobile phone can. And all vehicles these days run on internal combustion engines where a spark is first generated to ignite the fuel in order for the engine to function. If these don't cause fires at a petrol station, your poor mobile most certainly does not have the power to blow it up into smithereens. Moreover, these days almost all of the gas stations are using handheld swiping machines, which too have batteries and use GPS, the same mobile towers, etc., which are usually said to cause these issues. However, no one is blaming them. Moreover, the government themselves promoted the use of these digital payments when demonetization happened. So what sparked this myth? It appears it all started when a petrol station caught fire in Malaysia in the 1990s. Even then, it wasn't ascertained that this was indeed a mobile phone which caused the explosion. However, this news spread like wildfire via chain emails which were very popular in those times, and an urban legend was created. This has continued to stay alive even in the times of WhatsApp and Twitter and continues to circulate. Moreover, in the 1990s, mobiles were still a new thing and most people were not aware of the technology to the extent that we know today. The safety measures in mobiles have also increased multifold since then. Still not sure? Are you starting to use your scientific temper and you are demanding an evidence? Here you go. The belief was put to test on the popular Discovery Channel program called MythBusters. The host filled a gas chamber with petrol fumes and then made a phone call inside it to see if it would ignite. The results were negative. However, does this mean that we are advising you to use your mobile the next time you are at a petrol station? No, of course not. But it is not because of any risks. But just by chance, if something else goes wrong, your poor mobile phone will be in the docks for it. Plus, the angry eyes of the petrol station employee is sure to be on your back, along with the choicest of swear words depicting yourself and your parents. So, we advise you to avoid it. We'll be back with more snippets.